Madam, with the first key in hand, creating quality jobs can help us to prevent rising unemployment and underemployment. But we still face the risk of the employment of the third kind, which is structural unemployment, result of mismatches in the labor market. We therefore need a second key, the key of workforce adaptability. We must help our people to adapt to change, take on better jobs, both new jobs and existing jobs, and build new careers we are creating for them in our future economy. Last year, WSG, together with NTUC E2I, SNEF, and our tripartite partners, we helped more than 20,000 job seekers to secure jobs. This is about an increase of about 15%. The profile of job seekers we assisted is inclusive, young and old, so about 30% were above age 50. And Mr. Daniel Goh may be pleased to note that about 45% were in their 20s and 30s. Likewise, we help workers who are both employed, unemployed, and long-term unemployed. So among the unemployed, in fact, 40% of them who found jobs last year were long-term unemployed. Also, the split between PMET and rank and file, about 50-50, so it's a good mix. Now, a majority of job seekers are what we call the mismatch cases. So they are ready for jobs. The jobs are suitable for them. They just have yet to find each other. So we help them to plan their careers, search for jobs, prepare the CV for interviews, and more than 16,000 workers, what we call the mismatched workers, found jobs successfully. To help more job seekers and employers to find each other, we'll make better use of technology. We've improved the user-friendliness of the National Jobs Bank to provide better search function. I recall there was one feedback given by Associate Professor Randolph Tan last year. Job seekers are also updated of their application status, I think a point raised by Mr. Patrick Tay. As we have not mandated both the employers and job seekers to inform us of successful job placement, I do not have the statistic that Mr. Faisal Mada asked for. So in other words, National Jobs Bank is a place for employers and workers to find each other. So the WSG, the MOM, we are not in the loop. Right? We provide the platform for them to find each other. We have also piloted virtual career fair, which are longer duration than the physical job fairs. It's also easier to access. Feedback has been positive. So our next big move is to transform the entire National Jobs Bank into a one-stop, non-stop online marketplace. It will enable various groups of job seekers to search for what type of jobs they are looking for. For example, first jobs for the young graduates, next job for the mid-careers, and next career for those changing profession. We also link up the online marketplace with the individual learning portal, with the individual learning portfolio portal to be launched by the SSG, so that we can provide seamless access between the two, from skill to job, from job to skills. I think it's suggested by Mr. Patrick Tay, as well as Mr. Desmond Tzu during the budget debate. Now, this major enhancement will be rolled out progressively this year. We'll keep enhancing the online marketplace facility, including the useful suggestions by Mr. Patrick Tay. Besides using technology to widen our outreach to more jobs and more job seekers, we'll also expand the channels of job matching services through closer collaborations with private sector employment agencies. Having explored with leading employment agencies, both locally and overseas, we are now ready to partner 2 leading employment agencies who have been working with the government agencies in UK and Australia. They were selected because of their business focus on active job seekers, meaning these are the workers who are actively looking for jobs rather than passive job seekers where the jobs were looking for the workers. We will partner them to help place PMETs who are made redundant and those unemployed for 3 months or more. And we'll launch this new partnership in the second quarter of this year. Madam, as we gear up to serve more of these mismatch cases, we also do more to reduce mismatches in our job market. Last year, the number of mismatch cases has increased from 14,500 to about 16,000, an increase of about 10%. However, the number of mismatch cases has increased even faster, from 3,000 to almost 5,000, an increase of more than 60%. Even though the current split between mismatches and mismatches is about 75-25, we expect to see a continued shift towards more mismatches in the future. Madam, I share the concerns of Mr. Patrick Tay, Ms. Jessica Tan, Dr. Ing Tan, Mr. Lee Yishan, and Mr. Desmond Zhu, and Associate Professor Muhammad Faisal. Structural unemployment is sticky and harder to solve, so it's better that we act faster and act more proactively. So last year at the COS, we introduced the Adapt and Grow initiative to help PMETs who need the extra help in overcoming these mismatches. This year, we're enhancing the Adapt and Growth initiative again. Let me explain why. As we support businesses to transform and grow faster, more old jobs will be destroyed, more new jobs will be created, and more existing jobs will be recreated. This has implications for our workers. In the past, we strive for lifelong employment for our workers. One career, one employer for life. Today, with keener and stronger competitions, instead of lifelong employment, one career, one employer for life, we now have lifelong career. One career, but with many employers, different employers, throughout our working life. In the future, lifelong career will go to giving way to what I call lifelong re-employability, meaning not just many employers, but also many careers in our lifetime. And each time, when we move from one career to another career, we have to learn new skills, adapt to new environment, to regain our employability time and time again. So that's what I call re-employability. Therefore, we can expect to see more PMET job seekers facing three growing mismatches or mismatches in future: job mismatch, skill mismatch, and wage mismatch. First, job mismatch. Last year, we launched 36 new PCP to help more than 1,000 PMETs to switch careers and to take on job openings in those sectors that are still growing and hiring. And one of the new PCP is for data analytics. So one company, they move on into smart manufacturing, thereby created new roles such as data analytics. But at the same time, some of the existing jobs and staff were at risk of being let go. So instead of retrenchment, WSG, the company and the training provider, we work together to retrain these redundant workers who are mostly more than 40 years old. So building on their domain expertise, they are now leading projects using their new skills in data analytics. So in other words, with professional conversion, these PMETs have moved into an emerging area with potential for career growth. In fact, they can look forward to becoming data scientists and program managers one day. Remember, currently, a majority of the jobs offered by employers for PCPs are entry-level positions. I think this is a point that many members raise. Mr. Chong Ki-hyung may be pleased to know that the PCP participants, not all of them wait till they're unemployed before they join the PCP. In fact, about half, or maybe even more than half of them, are still in employment. I believe they are what the SecGen NTUC called the future retrenched, the future unemployed. Yeah. So tomorrow's unemployed. Yeah. So these PCP participants, they're actually in employment today, but still they decided to take up PCP to convert into a new professions. Why? Because they look at where they are today. Either they feel that they could be at risk of being retrenched in the future, made redundant in the future, or maybe the new career can offer them better growth prospect. So on to assure this house, that PCP, we are targeting at both retrenched, redundant workers of today as well as the redundant workers of tomorrow to help them to take on career of the future. Now, a concern, so this is a concern raised by Patrick Tay, Dr. Intan Kee Hyong, and Associate Professor Faisal Ibrahim. Now, so to encourage employers to offer more PCP jobs at the mid-level, we'll raise the entry support caps from 2,000 currently to 4,000. So what does this mean? Raising from 2,000 today, the cap to 4,000. What this means is that under the PCP, since we support 70% of the wages, 70% of wages, so at 4,000, we'll be able to support PCP job with a salary of up to 5,007. So employers pay 1,007, we pay 4,000 together. This is a cap. Together, we can fund jobs of up to 5,700. Mature PMETs who are more than 40 years old or long-term unemployed more than 6 months, they will continue to receive higher support, an increase from today's 4,000 to 6,000. So for them, the wage support is 90%. So at 6,000, we'll be able to support PCP job of salary up to 6,700. With these enhancements, for a PCP of 6 months conversion period, we're able to support up to 24,000 worth of salary. For mature PMETs or those who are long-term unemployed, salary support can be up to 36,000. This on top of the training subsidies of an average of 9,000 for a 6-month PCP. Madam, the second mismatch is skill mismatch. To equip PMETs with the new skills needed for the future and ensure that they are able to put the new skills to good use, we've all along been adopting the place and train, or place first, train later approach for the PCP. And this has worked well up till now. But we now face a new bottleneck because during this period of economic transition, the pace of hiring is slower, as I mentioned earlier. So even though there is demand for manpower to meet future needs, but in some sectors, companies are holding back hiring due to business uncertainty in the immediate term. So this poses a problem for both the job seekers and the employers because training for conversion takes time. So precious time is wasted if we have to wait until the employers are ready to hire before we start skill conversion, which is a point I think echoed by Associate Professor Randolph Tan. Now, to overcome this, we will introduce attach and train to convert PMETs ahead of job placement. I just want to clarify one point made by Professor Randolph Tan, is that attach and train is not targeted at companies. Attach and train is targeted at industry. So in other words, we don't choose companies to support, but we choose industry to train this PMT ahead of job placement for the industry. So Ms. Tana asked about payment for trainees on the attach and train. Well, we'll provide them with training allowances, which is about 50 to 70% of prevailing salaries for the jobs they are being trained for. And this will be capped at 4,000 per month in lieu of salary grants that we pay to the employer. Since it's no employer, so we don't pay wage support to the employers, but instead we pay these training allowances to the trainees, to the PCP trainees. But to lower the risk of non-placement, trainees are attached to companies as an integral part of the conversion process. So in other words, they don't just attend classroom training. In fact, they have to be attached to companies to learn to work in the real-life environment, to learn the conversion in the real-life environment. This is to familiarize them with their new jobs and new workplace so that they'll be more job-ready when companies are ready to hire them. To minimize potential abuse by employers, we'll select a few sectors to start with and manage the programs closely with our industry partner. So it's not a program for all sectors, only for selected sectors. So how do we go about selecting these sectors? The criteria are the outlook of sector growth must be promising. Industry leaders must be committed to help select and place trainees and ready the support of the industry players, the industry members. They must also be committed to jointly spearhead industry transformation and manpower development for their own sector. Mr. Chong Kee Hyong and Ms. Jessica Tan asked which sectors will pilot the attach and train. We are looking at the logistics sector, because it's one of the key growth sectors identified by the CFE. At the same time, the sector has in place a professional conversion facility known as Scala. And interest from PMETs is high. In fact, when Scala conducted their first PCP course, they had 80 training places, but they received 250 applications. But at that time, there were only 43 jobs from 14 companies. And as a result, 37 of the PCP places were wasted. So with the introduction of Attach and Train, we'll be able to take in more PMETs for future courses, train them, attach them to potential employers, help them to be more job ready when companies are ready to hire them. Ms. Jessica asked about the progress of various SMP in support of the respective ITM. Madam, to meet the manpower needs of the industry and employment needs of our workers, in fact, we translate the ITM, individual ITMs, into skill framework, defining the jobs, the career path, the skill requirement, and then we follow up with our industry partners with programs such as the PCP, the CSP, the career fair, as well as for like today, the Attach and Train program with the logistic industry. So obviously, more will be done as and when the more ITMs are launched. Ms. Ching Li Hui asked about support for the SMEs and the various sectors such as construction. Yes, likewise, you do the same. Other potential industries for the Attach and Train include Infocom. We're looking at maybe IT system administrator. Apparently, there's a shortage of them. Healthcare, with consultation, MOH, and also biologic, which is a new growth sectors in manufacturing. We also partner with NTUC to help more workers to migrate into future growth sectors, something that the sector NTUC is most passionate about. Third, wage mismatch. To encourage employers to hire mid-career PMETs, we provide wage support through CSP. Associate Professor Randolph Tan asked, why the need to subsidize wages? Madam, these mature PMETs, they may have the expertise and experience, but the match may not be 100%. So by reducing the wage cut for the affected PMETs and reducing the wage costs for the employers during this transitional period for up to 1 year, we hope to bring more of them together, right, for both sides to know each other so that they can continue employment without our wage support after the transitional period. Mrs. Sim Lei Kun was previously a finance manager. She left her job in mid-2015 due to job misfit. Job search took longer than expected, so she took ACCA certification while looking for a job. Finally, she came to NTUC E2I, and with the help of the CSP, her new employer was prepared to give her a chance and to try her out in the role, which is bigger and different, slightly bigger, slightly different from what she used to do, perform the previous job. So now Ms. Sim is a senior account associate doing accounting for the SME clients. Yeah, so Ms. Sim used to be doing account for her own company, but now in her new job, she's doing account for the SME clients, something different. But with the support of CSP, both sides were prepared to have a go, and I said, so far, things have worked out well. And in fact, the new employer is so supportive of her that the employer will grant her half-day time off every week for her to complete her final ACCA module. Yeah. Mr. Chong Ki Hyong asked for progress of CSP. Madam, so far more than 300 have benefited from the program. And to help more PMETs affected by redundancy, especially those who are LTU, I think the point raised by Dr. In Tam and Patrick Tay, so this year we'll enhance our support for 3 groups of PMETs. First, they are the mature PMETs who are unemployed and have been actively looking for jobs for more than 1 year. So they are not just long-term unemployed. In fact, they are quite long-term unemployed. They are longer-term unemployed. So the employers will receive higher wage support and for longer duration of up from 12 months to 18 months. 50% of wage support for the first 6 months, 30% for the second 6 months, and 20% for the last 6 months. So in total, the wage support can be as high as $42,000 over 18 months for the employers. Second, PMETs aged 40 to 49 who are made redundant or unemployed for 6 months, they will now get the same level of support as those PMET aged 50 and above. So currently, 40 to 49 receive lower level of support compared to those who are aged 50 and above. So we've decided to combine the two groups. So now 40 to 49 will receive the same level of support as those who are more than 50 years old. What this means is that we'll double our wage support for this group, 40 to 49. So for the first 6 months, we'll increase from 20% today to 40%. For the next 6 months, from 10% today to 20%. So in total, we'll support up to $25,200 of wage support over 1 year, right, for the employer. Third, we'll extend CSP to all PMETs who are unemployed for 6 months or more, regardless of their age, whether and regardless of whether they are made redundant. So in other words, younger PMETs who are less than 20s and 30s, they can now receive 20% for first 6 months, 10% wage support for the second 6 months, a total wage support of up to $12,600, even if they have not been made redundant. But as long as they are long-term unemployed, they will qualify for the CSP. We will also enhance CSP to help match more PMETs to SMEs. I think this is a concern expressed by Ms. Cheng Li Hui. Now, the qualifying salary for CSP is currently set at $4,000. I think, as mentioned by Mr. Desmond Zhu, feedback from SME is that some may not be able to meet this qualifying salary, especially during this period of weaker growth. So we'll therefore lower the salary threshold for SMEs from $4,000 to $3,600. I want to emphasize that this is not to depress wages for the PMETs, but to increase job opportunities, especially for the younger PMETs who are long-term unemployed. We'll also allow the hiring of PMETs for overseas job assignments, as long as the employees meet the criteria of the CSP. Madam, we're also enhancing the support for the rank and file workers facing job expectation mismatch. Now, for those having greater difficulties finding jobs, we believe that it's useful for them to try out the jobs and the employers before taking on the jobs. So likewise, employers want to try out the job seekers too before they're ready to make the offered employment. So SDB Solution is a company that specializes in digitizing and archiving hard copy documents. The work requires workers to be patient, require patience, precision, and attention to details. And they find it challenging to find workers of the right fit. So they try out, under the work trial program, they try out 5 job seekers for 2 weeks, and 3 of them decided to continue with the job. And one of them is Heidi. She has stopped work for 11 years to raise her children, and she wasn't sure whether she can do the job. And after the two weeks of work trial, it turned out to be a good fit. In fact, SDB Solution, the company, is so happy that it's now offering 3 more work trial places under the program. And Dr. Ying Tang will be happy to note that to help more LTU, rank and file workers, to go back to work, to return to work, especially lower skill and the lower wage workers, we have decided to extend the current 80 hours, which is 2 weeks of work trial, to as long as 3 months, and with the allowances of up to $1,200 per month. So during or at the end of the work trial, if the employers offer employment to these rank and file workers who have been unemployed for more than 1 year, will provide wage support of 30%, capped at $600 per month, for the first 6 months of employment. So in other words, those who are unemployed, long-term unemployed for more than 1 year or more, we put them on the work trial, we support them up to 3 months, and at the end, during or at the end of attachment, if the employers offer him or her the employment, we'll subsidize the wages for 30%, up to $600 for the first 6 months. So the whole purpose is to help as many of our long-term unemployed workers to go back to work and hopefully stay on the job. Now, these workers will also get an additional incentive payment of $1,000 for staying in the job for at least 6 months. Now, to support inclusiveness of our workplaces, this enhanced work trial will also support persons with disabilities. Madam, we also support the returnship programs proposed by NTUC and Desmond too. We will partner NTUC to tap on the various support schemes under Adapt and Grow to support this returnship program. Madam, I wish to emphasize that the key factor determining the success of Adapt and Growth is not just how much money, in fact, it's not so much how much money we put in to help our job seekers and employers, but rather it depends a lot on how much our job seekers are prepared to adapt and grow and how much our employers are prepared to be fair and inclusive. Members share some unhappy cases where job seekers did not succeed in finding jobs, I think during the budget debate. And they ask what went wrong. Madam, no matter how hard we try, how much passion and commitment we put in, still we are unable to succeed in helping every job seeker to find a job. For the rank and file workers, our success rate currently is about 70%. For the PMETs, about 60%. One of our unsuccessful rank and file case is Mr. A. He left his job as a logistic assistant due to differences with his boss. He had specific expectations in his job search. It must be within 4 bus stops from where he lives, work only from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. He demanded that the career coach must arrange at least 2 job interviews every week for him until he can find a suitable job. And he refused our help to improve his resume and to improve his interview skill. So with his unrealistic expectation, uncooperative and demanding attitude, we have not been able to help him to secure any job. We've not given up on him, even though he has been uncontactable for 6 months now. In contrast, Miss B, 50 years old, is a successful rank and file case. She's a single income parent, supporting 2 children and an elderly mother. She has a brain tumor, but under control. She left her previous job as a property consultant and approached our career center after 10 months of unsuccessful job search. She needs to work. Sorry. Okay, she needs to work near her home and end work at 5 p.m. every day due to family responsibilities. She wanted to join the healthcare sector. So with the advice from her career coach, she took out WSQ Higher Certificate in Healthcare Support. She has financial problem. Tough. Madam Speaker, I'm sorry.
Take your time, Minister.
Okay. Now she wants her to join the healthcare sector. So with advice from a career coach, she took out WSQ Higher Certificate in Healthcare Support. She has financial problem. So we, can someone make me laugh? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I laugh, okay. Now, so she has financial support, so we help her with a transport course so that she can attend the course. She missed a few modules when she felt ill, but she persevered to complete the course. And because of that determination, wow. Now, because of her determination and willingness to learn and improve herself, today she's working as a clinic assistant. Now, we have a mixed outcome with PMET job seekers too. Now, Miss C is a highly qualified with 10 years of experience in banking and finance. She told her career coach what she wanted. It must be senior management position in investment banking, minimum pay $10,000. But she was unreceptive to advice to enhance her resume and improve on her interview skill. So when rejected by the potential employers, he demanded that the employers must share with him the resumes of the successful candidate to verify that they were actually more qualified than her. She even verbally abused our staff on several occasions. So the current status for such a case is no successful outcome. On a positive note, Mr. D, 47 years old, is a successful PMET case. He worked more than 20 years as a plant manager. He spent the last 10 years based in China. She lost his job when the factory closed down. And last time he looked for a job was more than 10 years ago. And he did not know how best to search for a job, so he sent out resume blindly to 70 companies. 5 companies responded, but all unsuccessful. So after 8 months, he approached WSG Career Center. So our career coach helped him to discover his strengths and teach him how to market his strengths to the potential employers. And we helped him to improve his resume to better reflect his capability, his experience. And he attended career fairs and walk-in interviews whenever there were opportunities. So with the support of the CSP, he secured a job as a production manager without having to suffer any wage cut. We are happy for him.